Hello everyone, Redcoat here. I'd like to welcome you to day 6 of the Legend of Mathematica Kickstarter journey. 24 days to go, and that's to our names. We continue charging ahead. So, how many people have we added to our number today? It's just the one backer. So we go up from 17 to 18 today. And that puts us at 1,391 buckaroos, buckies, buckers, boombox, dollars, dollars, other words for money. So, that is the basic update. So, what else has been going on? Well, I updated the page slightly. Now, we have a log of each of the days and their titles. So we added a title to day 1 and day 2, since I uploaded them out without any actual name. I feel like it's important that we have a name. And once we finish recording this, I will have this added to the day 6 log. And so, by the end of this, there will be 30 days daily updates page to go from the beginning to the end to see exactly what all happened. So, that's the main update to this page here. I was going to update and add do some editing work and get Sigurd added to the page, but I got a little randomized because one of my contacts let me know that the Seattle Indie Showcase was happening, and we had submitted a image to, well, not an image, we had submitted a play sample to them, and it was like a day before they needed to get some stuff out, or like it was very, very short notice. They needed a recording of a voiceover on the footage describing what the game was about. So I grabbed my bike and rode out to a warehouse on the edge of town, and an empty warehouse on the edge of town. Recorded some voiceover. Rode back. Went through the process of uploading and editing the thing. Then realized that there was too much echo, and recorded it again in a different location, and then uploaded that. The point is that Seattle Indie Showcase is a thing that might be worth checking out. Now, I'm not actually going to play this because this is from 2020. But also, I should note that there is a group called the Seattle Indies. This group, the Seattle Indies, a local consort indie developers in Seattle. And as you can see, they've got a whole bunch of different links and things to explore. But I would highly recommend if you're looking for new up-and-coming games in development, they're a good place to start. And now, admittedly, the COVIDs and the lockdowns and all of that other stuff have kind of gotten in the way of people commiserating and such, but they were able to reach out to me. Well, rather, reach out to me through another contact, but that's beside the point. So they're still operating. And I think it might be worth your while to check them out and see what they're up to. So, that out of the way, let's move on to the backer boosting things, the backer boosting sagas. So, firstly, the Prefundia, which is still operating. Got an email in today, and we've gone up to position 10. How many votes do you think it took for us to get there? If you're reading the email, it was 2 more votes. Oh wait, no, 1. It was 1 more vote. Because we were at 3. 1 vote boosted us up 1 rank. Now, I actually got to look at their pages, and now they're actually showing the number of votes attributed to each thing. So their top 3, their topmost thing has 52, which, you know, by internet standards, that's not a very large number. But I have to appreciate the effort that they're putting in here. And it's a scooter handlebar. I'll probably have to look at that later. It's like scrapeboard, carbon fiber scrapeboards for a longboard, and of course, the boat, the eco-friendly boat. I'm not quite sure why, but this makes me chuckle. Makes me a little bit happy that the eco-friendly boat has retained its position of dominance. Although I am a little bit sad that Mortal Kombat Mask didn't stay up top. But you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. 18 votes does not in fact beat 34 votes. But now you know the amount that would be required for us to actually get to the top 10. Anywho, that is the thing, and I'm leaning towards this is actually kinda legit. It's just small, and that's what you're gonna expect when people start out on these sorts of things. So take that as you will. I would encourage you, if you want to support the team, go ahead and drop a vote on that. Then there's Cross-Prom, which you'll note I don't actually have a tab up for them on this. You know, that's in part because maybe there was a snafu, but we had a call scheduled for tomorrow. Well, not for tomorrow, for yesterday, and it was a no-show. So I'm going to assume that one is either bunk or just not worth using. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. Bunk or just not worth using. So, be gone, Cross-Prom. You will take your cross away from the prom. That through your cross. Well, actually, everyone's cross is important, at least in my opinion. But anyway, that's beside the point. They're done. We are done with them. So, the next thing was a group called Backerinfo. It showed up in my email. It was an email from one Lizzie something or other, whose name I will remember when I start going through these different thingies. So of course the first dealie that I did was I asked, is Backerinfo like a thing? And you know, you got all sorts of different websites that will check that stuff, right? So this one's like, Scamvoid. I mean, you got what is it? Trustpilot, Scamvoid, all that other stuff. Trustpilot, you can game that system a little bit because you know, anyone's allowed to vote. So if you've got enough people in your organization, theoretically you can pump or dump the voting there. So it's like you can take that. I encourage people to use it. It's just you got to take those numbers with a grain of salt because there is manipulations that people can do on them. So, Scamvoid, what do they say? Well, the WOT trustworthiness, which admittedly I have no idea what WOT is. They should probably put like a tooltip on this that says WOT is X. But they don't know what it is. Well, that's not happy. They're not blacklisted though. Their website doesn't get that much traffic, but that's not necessarily an indicator of malfeasance. More an indicator of just lack of popularity. I mean, there's hundreds upon hundreds of sites on the internet. You can't expect all of them to get that much volume. The creation date was 4 years ago. I'm not quite sure why that validates, other than the fact that we do have a creation date for it, so I suppose that's a deal. No valid HTTPS. Now, I would like it. That's something I'm not actually fully familiar with, like the relevance to how good or bad a site is. But yeah. Oh wait, hey, what trustworthiness? Web of Trust, a great community of internet users that rate websites. If the trustworthiness rating is too low, then the website may be unsafe. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Backerinfo's been around since at least 20. Well, yeah. No, they've been around for about 2 years. So I'm kind of surprised that WT hasn't actually given them a rating. But then again, it might be just that people haven't done anything with them. Either case. So I looked through that. And, of course, I'm going to check out the Reddits. See what they have to say. So, random person on the internet says, I'm debating using them to market my adult party game that is live on Kickstarter. I can't find much information as to whether these super backers are really worth the cost. There are some... sorry, misspelled there. Although I'm also, I do that sometimes. There are some reviews on Trustpilot, but I still don't feel confident enough to pull the trigger. Thank you. Alright, so let's see what our what the Reddit people have to say.
I'd be interested in this info as well, if you hear anything.
Then Board Shepherd. I was contacted by them just after launching my project yesterday, along with approximately 10 billion other similar companies. So I started checking for what I consider to be red flags. First was that they claimed 2,000 plus project creators trust them, but only have 26 Trustpilot reviews, being a review conversion of less than 1.4%, which they've been affiliated with for 2.5 years. The next is that I can't find any projects to link to half of their testimonials, due to testimonials lacking any project references, as well as both Kickstarter and BGG having no record of the person who gave the testimonial. The ones I could link were either just about funded or were unsuccessful with a token amount of money to the name of the project, sparking suspicions that they may have launched fake Kickstarters / Indiegogo in the employees' names just to rack up some positive Trustpilot reviews. They also have both super backers and premium backers mentioned on their site, without any distinction that I could find between the two. I've emailed them with questions regarding all of the above and some more. If I get a response, which honestly I'm not expected to, I'll share any info on here if anyone's still following. I know the thread is 3 months old, and this is actually, it was 3 months old when he posted. It's actually 10 months now.
I'm also interested in learning about others' experience with Backerinfo.
Yep. I'm also very interested for my Kickstarter.
Sounds too good to be true. Got a message from Lindsay Seacrest saying that our pricing is just $35 to connect it with 250 superbackers.
Huh. Hope your project was a success. Any word on how these guys are?
No resolution, just suspicion. Well, that's fun. I mean, I'm already doing validation on this stuff, so maybe I should be the guy to check this out. Maybe I'll even be like, hey, maybe. I mean, it's a $35 experiment. I mean, it's kind of a waste of money, but still. Let's see. What else have we got here? Backerinfo. Is this legit or scam? Sounds too good to be true, honestly.
Hello, I'm running my first Kickstarter. I could not help but notice this mail that sounds too good to be true.
Blah, 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 blah. $35, 250 super backers, super specific backers who have been qualified, so the success rates are higher. Qualified how? Super backer, what does that even mean? I mean, that is a good question. What does that mean? And I will admit, as I was talking with a group called Crowdster, it's like Krodster, back when I was working with Highway to the Moon, and they also talked about the idea of high yield backers, or rather serial backers. Basically, people who crawl through Kickstarter looking for projects to back. I don't know if that's fable or not. Oh, also, because there's actually Crowdster with a K and Crowdster with a C. Crowdster with a K, I don't know about. Crowdster with a C, they're actually good people. I might talk about them a little bit later, but they were nice guys. I found them a while back, and they're focused more on nonprofits, and so a lot of their strategies are more suited to that. But I will talk about them a little bit later, because I actually like working with the guy. I actually like working with them. They were very accommodating. Anyway, Crowdster with a K, though. I don't know about those guys. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what we have here. 5 months ago, so this is a little bit more recent. So this information you might be able to take into account. I used them and had 0 results. All right, Mr. Gargles. Not off to a good start here. I got this along with about 5 other different ones, as expected, when I launched yesterday. I did take a look at their website, and the stats they give on one of their pages as an example about transparency show that about 70% hadn't opened the email on the date they were hovering over, and only 18% clicked the link, which was 11 people in their example out of 201. Which backs up the point that if you're being spammed by this regularly, what's the chances that they are getting filed into the junk folder as soon as they hit their inbox? It's very valid. It's one of the failings of the email blast methodology, because you're not the only one that's email blasting. Everyone, anybody who's in the advertising business, this is one of the first things that is suggested is do an email blast, so that on the off chance, out of the thousands of emails that you shotgun, about 20% of them will land in a inbox that someone actually checks. I mean, it's always advised as a thing, and it kind of goes against at least my conventional logic as far as things are concerned. But you use whatever means are at your disposal in this when it comes to advertising. But yeah, that's a good note. Anyways, back to the talk here. Well, it didn't seem like a scam. It definitely seems too good to be true. Out of those 11 people who clicked the link in their example, how many would even become backers? And how many would you need to convert to cover the $35 you spent in the first place? I guess it depends on what your pledge levels are, but it's something to consider. To be honest, the $35, it seemed... the $35? No, it's some weird... I think you needed a comma there. The $35, it seemed like a bait price to me. So the $35 seemed like a bait price to me. Not too much to put off small creators, and use the word super backer to draw people in, where they then will see that they are going to need to spend a lot more money to try and get the results that they were hoping for. Alright, so what's Mythic Nation I've got to say here? I have run about 15 KS projects, Kickstarters. You will literally get 5 to 10 of these offers during each project. This is true. They are all bots, and I think they're worthless. Not quite so sure about that particular statement, but I don't begrudge them for having that opinion. The only legit one is BackerKit. Okay. BackerKit has some good promotional services. Send out an email blast or do Facebook ads for you. Not sure if shill or trolling, because this is another trick that that can happen. Actually, is where person says, "All those other guys are crap. I'm the guy you got to talk to." Now, what's interesting here is, so Mythic Nation has basically presented himself as an outside observer to this space, and also as a reputable person who's actually had experience running a Kickstarter. So he's presented himself as that, which puts him into a position where he's immediately a little bit more trustable, so to speak. Now, the thing that kind of sabotages a little bit of what he's saying is that he goes and then says, everyone is crap, but this one is great. And then goes into the advertisement spiel. Admittedly, it's one line of advertisement spiel, so he's actually exercising a great deal of restraint. But I'm just kind of like, not sure. That feels very much like a tactical movement. Although, admittedly, if I were in those same shoes, as somebody who's running a Kickstarter right now and doing this sort of thing, how would I say that, right? Like, I've run a couple Kickstarters. This stuff happens. You get these offers often enough, and I think, because I know I'm in that position of where exploring this space as we go, and I know that because there is a definite opportunity there to be the funnel, right? To be the funnel that sends people out to all of these different spaces, either to the Indiegogos, to the Crowdsters, to the GoFundMes, to the this, that, the other thing. Because there's definitely there's a dearth of funding places out there that I would say the greater internet space are unfamiliar with. I mean, there's even groups that kind of operate more off of an investor-style situation. I mean, granted, most crowdfunding really, if you're really looking at it, is basically doing, you can look at it as either investing or gambling, depending on how you want to shake it out. But there's one that specifically approaches it as investors, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. Anyway, point is, a whole bunch of those. There is a very big opportunity to be the funnel, to be the group that says, hey, I've vetted all of these. These are all great. Here's the one that you want to use for getting this type of funding. Here's the one that you want to use for getting that type of funding. I think that would be very, very lucrative. Okay, maybe not very, very lucrative, but I think it would be very, very helpful. And when you're helpful, you're adding value. When you're adding value, that's very likely to be a lucrative thing. Likely. Not necessarily guaranteed, but likely. Anyways, I went off on a tangent. Apologies. Let's continue. Money Indigo. You got drawn in? No. Let's see, he asked that 16 days ago. I wonder if Mythic Nation even looks at this anymore. It's like 5 months ago. It's like, does BackerKit offer marketing for KS projects? Okay. Hyperstarter, a Kickstarter agency owner? I wonder how that's validated. Well, we'll look into it another time. If you put yourself in the shoes of a super backer, why would you be allowed to be spammed semi-regularly with the latest campaigns? Doesn't make sense. With GDPR law also now in effect, you can't mass email everyone expecting it to turn into conversions. But a super backer? That sounds bloody serious. Thanks. Okay. I think Kedaminis is having a little fun there. Okay. But yeah. I mean, the very idea of the concept of a super backer. Like, I mean, I'm on the internet right now, so I guess I can ask, does anybody actually know somebody who operates in that way? Who is just specifically rolling through Kickstarter looking for... Well, okay, no, I do know someone who operates that way. I live with him. Anyway, yes, I do know somebody who does that. Who specifically looks for things that they like and then, like, oh, I have some money. I'm going to back that because I want to see that happen. Does it mostly for comics. Was it, I think we backed Star Power or Spinner Red, some, I forget if Empowered actually got any of that stuff. We definitely backed, anyways, bunch of Indiegogo projects, because Indiegogo is where you go to support comics. And if you didn't know that, you now know. That's where you go. That's where you go if you want to support the indie comics. That's where a lot of the guys are going. If I remember, next time I'll actually post a link to a guy that pays attention to these sorts of things. Actually, pays attention to the new comics and everything that's up and coming. Granted, I know this is about Legends of I do want to bring us back to Legends of Mathmatica, but that's some information that I think would be worth sharing. All right, final bit. This is really interesting and helpful. Thanks for all your input. I am running a campaign right now for T-Stand 2. T-Stand 2? This was 2 days ago. T-Stand 2. Writing that down. Gonna look you up. See what you're about. T-Stand 2? That's weird. T-Stand 2. Just launched yesterday. Doing well, but the pressure is on, and as I watch the support rolling in fall off a cliff. Lol. I believe some super backers want to hear about the cool project, which is why I believe 11 people out of 201 is not bad. It's a 5% conversion rate. If even the 3 of them turn into backers, then it is a $12 ad spend. If more, then all the better. But I don't want my campaign to inherit a bad rep because of a service I assigned for. This is valid. Generally resist marketing service because the big one regards ad spend was 15% at least. My big question is, can I get in trouble for a service that spends super backers? And I've already made that pitch. Moving on. So, there's some more stuff, and this is Gator Scan, another check and vet sort of thing. Page report viewed 300 times. Most viewed by the United States. Only 300 times. Honestly, I really feel like more people should be using these sorts of things, at least to validate, and verify different groups that they're working with. Oh, they Backerinfo registered with GoDaddy. Ashburn, Virginia. Interesting. Yeah. And of course, you have all of this stuff. And oh right, Trustpilot. I mean, they are gameable, but let's see what they have to say. We recently used these guys to help launch our first Kickstarter for our mag of holding for the 50 campaign. They were fantastic, great open lines of communication and transparency. They definitely distributed a maximum campaign traffic. That was April 1st. That is the wrong time to post a review. Why would you post a review on April 1st? Very good and professional. Not specific. Really good return on investment. That's what ROI means. Compared to what they charge for our service, recommend them to anyone who are looking to raise funds on Kickstarter. Jane Doe, come on. You can do better. At least don't use the basic military name. It's Jane Doe and John Doe. Basic military name for an unidentified person. Okay, let's keep moving. I've used Backerinfo on 2 separate campaigns now. What I can tell you is the value is insane. 2 times campaign cut. But contrast another ad agency, I spent $600 on converted to drumroll $300 in conversions, which based on our cost of product was a $450 ad spend to get over 10K in conversions on Facebook ads. We spent $1,500. There are lots of other agencies that will charge a lot more, or a percentage of your crowdfund, but Backerinfo offers a clear value at a discount price. Let's see. Incredible value. I am Ian Forster. Well, there's Ian A and then there's Ian F. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Let me look. So there's 1% bad reviews. Let me check that. Wait, actually, how many reviews? We've got 67 of them. So that is still something that you can gain. So let me check the bads. Zach. Unsolicited emails will not result in sales. Stop sending me spam. I have been receiving loads of spam from this company. I previously asked to be removed from their list, and after over a month, I am still receiving spam. If I receive an email from you because you bought my email address from them, I will be reporting your email as spam every time. This means you look less reputable and will be more likely to be sent to people's spam folders by email filters. Do not buy from this company. They are scummy and they lie to clients and to people who supposedly signed up to receive emails. We do not want your emails. We did not sign up for them. They are lying for you. In response to the company. Let's see. We would like to extend to you our most sincere apologies for regarding recent spam issues. We take privacy seriously. We never sell backers information for profit. Well, okay. I roll to disbelieve, because this is as if some of you are familiar with Andrew Yang, the statement is information's the new oil. This is actually very true. But I digress. We run email campaigns from our side, and apart from that, we also offer additional services like social media, marketing, PR, media campaign, etc. You can check out our pricing page link, and we don't sell any backers information. All right, and Zach, who's oh man, he is spitting some fire here. I probably won't finish this entire thing, but I do want to read what his reply to that statement is. Also a lie. I have dozens of emails from projects using lists purchased from Backerinfo. I have never received an email directly from Backerinfo regarding projects or promotions. They do not handle these for clients. They are just selling information. Your comments have been discussed at length with the responsible data protection officer to prevent this from happening again and ensure the company maintains its high email campaign standards. I have no confidence in this being true. This is posted, by the way. December 22nd of 2020. Okay, that is recent. Given the impact that this can have, we have adapted our documentation, and we will make sure to communicate this very clearly to our employees. I have no confidence in this being true. See upper statement. Here's the process we follow. We don't send emails to just anyone. We target backers very carefully. We've got a list of interested backers in Back Kickstarter and Indiegogo projects based on our valuable suggestions. Valuable suggestions. Oh, well, I can see that. They buy emails from existing Kickstarter projects, so they can resell them. This is what that means. Interesting. Let me think about that. Don't send emails to just anyone. We target backers very carefully. And yeah, no, that makes sense. It's well, actually, I redacted that. But yeah, this is of note, actually, because it's a back-end thing with a Kickstarter. Because you have to do fulfillment. There's a certain amount of information that you get from your backers, and generally speaking, it's just name and email. Because you need to be able to communicate with them and let them know, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. So that confers a responsibility to the runner, the Kickstarter runner, because they're trusting you with that information. And as I said before, information is the new oil. And advertisers, as I said before, advertisers are a little bit evil. And advertisers want that info. They want to be able to proliferate. They want to be able to know what you're buying, when you're buying it, how you're buying it. They want to know if you're. They can use that information to determine if you're a mark. And once you're a mark, once they see that you're a mark, you're the one that they're gonna try and figure out how to reach. And that will determine how they do their ad campaign and all that stuff. And so, I mean, that's the reason why the very idea of selling information is even a thing. Is because the proliferation of information creates access, and that will determine whether or not somebody sees your thing. So anyway, the point is, yes, there's validity in that statement that people sell information, and this is a true thing. Is that there is information that you get from people backing your project, yeah, that's a thing. So. Suppose, in the fact that I've just said all of that, I should also let you know that I will not do that. It's against my principles. And I am going to continue going through and looking at all of these different backing groups and figuring out whether or not they're legit or not. Because I feel like that's important, especially since us Kickstarter runners, we are marks ourselves, particularly in the sense that we are marks for these guys, for Backerinfo, for groups like Profundia, for groups like Cross Prom. I think it is important that we get this info out, that this stuff happens. Anyway, I could keep going on, but it's more of Zach. It's more of Zach spitting. What do they call it? Spitting truth. spitting some stuff. And let's see, senior support manager. When did Chris Roth reply? He replied on December 21st, and then this guy replied to that, and it looks like he's done 3 reviews on this thing. Now, it's very possible. It is very possible that Zach does just have an axe to grind with Backers Info. That is very possible. Now, do I think that this is verifiably true? I have no way of knowing. But I do think it's worth looking at. So again, as I said, Trustpilot. They have a high rating here, but like I said, this is a very gameable site. And granted, there are other groups that have had legitimately high ratings on this site, and then I've cross-referenced them with other rating sites, and found that they were really good, and then actually went and worked with them, and turned out that they were good. Like, well, Promo Bears is one of them. They turned out to be really good. Actually, I'm not sure if they were on this site. Let me check. Were you on this site? No, they weren't on this site. Okay. That's actually probably a point for Promo Bears, not against them. Now I'm actually curious. Yeah. These guys. I love these guys. I love custom making. These guys are great. They've been awesome to work with. But yeah. So the point is, the site is gameable, definitely gameable. But there are ways to figure out. Whether it is true or untrue. And one big thing is the number of reviews is going to say a lot. Is that basically says that a customer actually had such a good experience with it. Like, first off, it says that there's a bunch of customers, and the other thing is that, because that's the other part of this, so you have these things where you have all of the reviews and everything, and a large amount of reviews will help kind of shake out the falsehoods and stuff. So if you don't see that many reviews on a thing, I mean, there's two points to that, because if you don't see that many reviews on a thing, it could be that they're just new. But at the same time, it could also be that they basically just kind of pumped out some falsified reviews, just enough to actually get their ranking up. But additionally, it's also the nature of the reviews and just the kinds of names and things, like when I was looking at the other one and we saw a Jane Doe, like it's. I mean, it's a name that I actually named one of my video game characters that, although that's for a later project. The fact that it was a review from a Jane Doe, and I mean, maybe I know that there is a Jane Doe that probably exists. There's probably a couple of them, but I don't think Jane is actually the most common female name anymore. I know John is still That's why that's the default name for an unidentified person. It's, John Doe, John Doe, Jane Doe, G.I. Jane, G.I. Joe, Joe just being whomever. Yeah. Anyways, I have gone off along a long tangent here, but what I have gleaned from all of this, and let me put that up there. What I have gleaned from this is I don't trust him. I don't trust him. But $35 for an experiment, that's a steal of a deal. I'm going to think about whether or not I want to spend on this, because I feel like it would be worthwhile just to see, but at the same time, I feel like the experiment, at least I feel like the Backerinfo experiment has already been done by others. They just haven't actually reported their results. Anyway, if you guys think that I should, if you all who are watching this think that it would be worthwhile to go ahead and drop some dollars on this and see how it goes, post in the comments. My initial thought is, if it's true that these guys actually do the whole, do the info scalping, is what I'll call it. If it's true that these guys do a bit of info scalping, it's probably most advisable not to even interact with them. But if you want to see this happen, just let me know, and I'll take it under advisement. Anywho, that is all of that. Now, do I have any other information that I wish to relay unto you for our Kickstarter? Yeah. Yay! I found the right one. Okay. Do I have any other information that I wish to relay onto you? Well, the last bit of information that I have is that the demo is getting very close to ready. It's getting very close to done. So I would keep your eyes open. And I had said before that there was a platform that I'd worked with in the past that, admittedly, I didn't get much play from them before. But we did sell product on their we did sell product, and they were nice to work with. And as of recent, I've recently reconnected with their platform, not with them directly, but with their platform. And I can say that they have improved in the 10 years since. Yes, we've been at this for a while. So in the 10 years since then. So that platform is itch.io. I know, itch, scratch, gotta scratch that itch. Yeah. They seem pretty legit, and if all goes well, we will have the demo for Legend of Mathmatica up and ready on that site soon. I know soon's not an actual date, and for the record, that is one of the words that you want to watch for when you're looking for a group that's trying to scam you, if they never actually give you concrete anything. Although, by that same token, there's an amount of wibbly-wobbliness that happens with these sorts of things, as far as just staying on schedule, getting to a certain point. Hell, even Nintendo has their whole releasing in first quarter of X year, and that's a better way of approaching it. Really is first quarter of a year, second quarter of a year. That gives you a lot of wiggle room to make sure that everything is hunky dory. And there's a whole talk I could go over as far as planning for these sorts of things. But that's for another video. That's not for this time. So, point is, itch.io demo should be coming soon. And I will update you guys as soon as that happens. And I'll post that on our Kickstarter page. So, without further ado, day 6 is done. So this will appear in this space. Should appear today, like unless something catches on fire. Yeah. Now I'm gonna bring us to the sign off. So, play the games you want to play, boyos. This is Redcode, signing off.